Hey guys, it's John here from Sonic Drive Studio. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. A few days ago, I posted a blind test video in which we compared my Friedman J Junior tube amplifier to the Fractal Audio XFX3 and the Line 6 Helix. Just to see if you guys could figure out which one was the real amplifier, which one were the modeling platforms, and which of the modeling platforms were which. If you haven't seen the initial blind test video yet, do check it out up here and down here as well, because otherwise this video will spoil all the fun. Now in the initial blind test video, I thought that the sounds all were very close, so that was really impressive. Now were there some sonic differences in between all the choices? Yes, but those were very subtle. I don't know what you guys think about that, so let's start with what you guys thought in the initial blind test video. Now while I'm filming this, the actual guesses of the original blind test video aren't in yet, so what I'll do is I'll post the results in the comments section down below in the pinned comment. So check the comments down below to see what all of you guessed and what the sort of percentages are between all the platforms. As per usual, I do expect the guesses to be all over the place, just as with the previous times, but that remains to be seen. So check my comment out and let me know what your thoughts are. And I hope that the results were interesting and entertaining for you to see. Now I'm not gonna let you guys wait much longer because you all came here to see the results and to see how wrong or right you were. So let's take a listen and look at the results right now. And after that, I'll show you all the settings that I used, etc. So are you guys ready for this? Okay, here we go. Very nice! So I'm sure that everything is now very obvious, right? When you're seeing the actual results on the screen versus a blind test. But now let's also check out that same thing, but this time with guitars isolated, so with the drums and bass turned off. Here we go. Cool, so obviously they sounded pretty damn close. Not exactly the same, but some might say close enough. And as usual with these types of things, if I'd spend more time tweaking the modelers to make them sound even closer to the real amplifier, perhaps the results could have been even closer, but do keep in mind that I also have a life. So what sort of settings did I use? Well, I showed the settings for the real amplifier in the previous video, but you can see them on the screen right now as well. And of course, the amp was fed into the Red 7 amplification amp central reactive load, and then into the York Audio FDMN412IR on the V30 speaker and the Mix01 file. And that IR was used for the modeling platforms as well. First, let's take a look at the Helix preset. I used Helix Native to be exact because it made it easier for me to tweak the amp model when I was doing the A/B test. But of course, you can get this exact same tone on your Helix or HX Stomp hardware, as long as you use the same settings and the same IR, of course. It's a simple preset, as you can see, just the amp block and the cab block. In the amp block, I just tweaked the basic settings until it sounded as close as possible. And as you can see, I did raise the sag control a bit, just for that natural tube compression. I also raised the bias control a little bit. So yeah, nothing too crazy going on there, to be honest. And of course the IR block with the York Audio IR, and that's it basically, a very simple preset. And as you could hear, the Placator Dirty amp model doesn't have any trouble replicating the sound of this tube amplifier. So if you want your Helix or HX Stomp to sound virtually identical to my tube amplifier, do check out this preset for yourself. And now we're going to check out the settings for the AXFX3's amp model. So I chose the Friedman BE V3 amp model, as that one sounded the closest to the actual tube amplifier. Again, nothing too crazy going on in terms of basic amp settings. In the power tubes section, I did choose the EL84 power tubes over the EL34s, as those are the tubes that are in the actual amplifier as well. Now the difference in the AXFX is quite subtle when you change the power tubes, but I figured I might as well do this anyway for accuracy. Then I also raised the power supply sag a bit for that softer attack, just as I did with the Helix. And I tweaked the high and low frequency resonances of the speaker tab ever so slightly, just for some fine tuning. And I did use the load box impedance curve, as that sounded pretty close as well. And that's it, nothing too crazy going on in the presets. They both sounded very good and quite close by default. It just took a bit of tweaking to get them to sound even closer to this amplifier. And even though this has the BE channel, it might be voiced slightly different than an actual BE100. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. Either way, it sounded pretty close to my ears. Do let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And that's it for this video. Of course, I also really want to know what your guesses were. Were you wrong or right? Just let me know in the comments down below as well. I would also really appreciate it if you guys dropped a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel out. You can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more exclusive content. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. Cheers!